In the quiet town of Ellenbrook, where the veil between the living and the dead was already thin, an inexplicable phenomenon unfolded. One fateful night, the residents fell dead in their homes, as if an unseen force had extinguished the very essence of life. Simultaneously, the cemeteries surrounding the town stirred with an eerie awakening, the once restful dead rising from their graves. The night began like any other in Ellenbrook, with a tranquil atmosphere enveloping the streets. Yet, as the moon ascended the darkened sky, an unnatural stillness settled over the town. The silence, pregnant with foreboding, crept through the streets, seeping into every home. Residents, nestled in the security of their beds, succumbed to an inexplicable demise. No screams shattered the silence. No desperate pleas echoed through the night. Just an unsettling quietude that enveloped Ellenbrook like a shroud. In their final moments, the living became as still as the graveyard that bordered the town. Meanwhile, the cemeteries, once serene under the moonlight, became a haunting theater of the supernatural. Tombstones trembled as the dead, with vacant eyes and cold limbs, emerged from their eternal slumber. The graveyard soil, disturbed by spectral hands, yielded the risen in a macabre dance of the once restful deceased. The risen dead, bereft of the warmth of life, moved with an unnatural unity towards the heart of Ellenbrook. The streets, eerily empty, became a spectral procession for the silent revenants. Their eyes, devoid of emotion, cast an ominous glow that reflected the moon's pale radiance. At the center of town, an ancient mausoleum stood as a sentinel of the supernatural. Its stone walls, etched with cryptic symbols, resonated with an energy that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. The risen, drawn by an unseen force, gathered around the mausoleum, a congregation in the silent reckoning. As the stillness persisted, a lone figure emerged from the mausoleum's shadows. The mysterious entity, clad in ethereal robes, cast a spectral gaze upon the risen dead and the lifeless residents. A murmured incantation echoed through the night, weaving a tapestry of supernatural forces that bound the town in an inexplicable dance of life and death. In the wake of the incantation, the fallen residents stirred once more. Eyes that had glazed over with the sheen of death flickered with a renewed vitality. The risen dead, momentarily suspended between two realms, retreated to their resting places with an ethereal grace. Ellenbrook, once shrouded in the eerie stillness of death, experienced a resurgence of life. The living, unaware of the supernatural forces that had orchestrated their revival, awoke to the dawn with a collective sense of disorientation. The mausoleum, its secrets veiled in the mystique of the supernatural, stood silent once more. The mysterious entity, cloaked in the shadows, watched as the town grappled with the unexplainable events of the night. As the dawn broke over Ellenbrook, the residents, oblivious to the supernatural forces that had unfolded in the night, emerged from their homes with a collective sense of disorientation. The town, once shrouded in an eerie stillness, now echoed with whispers of confusion and disbelief. The risen dead, having returned to their resting places, bore witness to the living as they grappled with the aftermath of the inexplicable events. Tombstones stood as silent sentinels, their cold surfaces reflecting the confusion that lingered in the air. Among the living, murmurs of a collective dream or a shared hallucination circulated through the streets. Some dismissed the previous night's events as a side effect of a mysterious gas leak, while others sought solace in the embrace of logic, attempting to rationalize the spectral procession that had passed through their town. The mysterious entity, having retreated to the shadows of the ancient mausoleum, observed the residents' attempts to make sense of the silent reckoning. Cloaked in ethereal robes, the figure remained an enigma, a guardian of secrets woven into the fabric of Ellenbrook's existence. As the day unfolded, the town became a tapestry of contrasting realities. Some residents, their memories clouded by the haze of disbelief, resumed their daily routines with a renewed appreciation for life. Others, haunted by glimpses of the risen dead and the spectral figure, withdrew into the shadows of introspection. In the heart of Ellenbrook, a gathering took place. Residents, drawn by an unspoken curiosity, congregated around the ancient mausoleum, the epicenter of the mysterious events. Whispers of the supernatural lingered in the air, exchanged in hushed tones, as the town grappled with a shared sense of the unexplainable. The mysterious entity, aware of the communal curiosity, emerged from the shadows. The figure, its features veiled in ethereal radiance, addressed the gathered residents with a voice that resonated through the very fabric of their beings. In the silent reckoning, the threads of life and death were briefly intertwined, the entity proclaimed. Ellenbrook, a town suspended between realms, has been touched by forces beyond mortal comprehension. The residents, captivated by the entity's words, listened as the figure unraveled the mystique that enshrouded their town. Ellenbrook, it explained, existed as a nexus between the living and the dead, a place where the supernatural and the mundane coexisted in a delicate dance. The entity, a guardian of Ellenbrook's secrets, revealed that the silent reckoning was a manifestation of the town's inherent connection to the supernatural. The risen dead, drawn by an ancient pact, had briefly walked the mortal realm to remind the living of the delicate balance that bound them together. As the entity concluded its revelation, the residents, though still bewildered, felt a collective sense of unity with the mystical tapestry of Ellenbrook. The town, once marked by the inexplicable, embraced its role as a place where the boundaries of life and death blurred into a seamless continuum. The mysterious figure, its purpose fulfilled, retreated once more into the shadows of the ancient mausoleum. Ellenbrook, forever changed by the silent reckoning, embraced its enigmatic identity, a town where the supernatural and the mundane coexisted, and the threads of existence wove a tapestry that transcended the limits of mortal understanding. In the dimly lit laboratory of Dr. Victor Sinclair, an air of anticipation hung heavy. He stood before a groundbreaking experiment, an attempt at the first ever head transplant. The room, shrouded in a spectral glow, held the promise of medical advancement, but also concealed the ominous shadows of the unknown. Patient Zero, a terminally ill man named Richard Lawson, lay on the operating table. His body, ravaged by disease, was to receive a new lease on life through the radical procedure. Dr. Sinclair, driven by a blend of scientific curiosity and compassion, prepared to embark on an uncharted journey that could reshape the boundaries of medical possibility. As the surgical team meticulously initiated the head transplant, the laboratory became a stage for the convergence of science and the supernatural. The air hummed with an otherworldly energy, and the room seemed to pulse with an eerie luminescence. Midway through the procedure, an unforeseen anomaly occurred. A sudden surge of energy, a manifestation of the unknown, disrupted the delicate balance of the transplant. Dr. Sinclair, caught in the throes of the supernatural forces at play, witnessed the boundaries between the physical and metaphysical blur. Richard Lawson's consciousness, separated from his original body, hovered in a spectral realm, a twilight existence between life and death. The laboratory, once a realm of scientific precision, became a nexus for the convergence of the material and the ethereal. As the surgical team grappled with the unexpected, Richard's disembodied consciousness ventured into the recesses of the laboratory. The spectral figure, endowed with an otherworldly perspective, observed the world from a vantage point beyond the confines of physicality. Simultaneously, Dr. Sinclair, still anchored to the mortal realm, felt the weight of an unseen presence. Whispers of the supernatural reverberated through the laboratory, each whisper echoing the fractured state of Richard's consciousness. In the spectral realm, Richard's consciousness encountered entities beyond the understanding of mortal minds. Shadows that whispered ancient secrets and echoes of forgotten souls. The laboratory, now a bridge between realms, became a stage for the unfolding drama of the supernatural and the scientific. Back in the operating room, the surgical team, unaware of the metaphysical ballet transpiring, grappled with the consequences of the disrupted transplant. Dr. Sinclair, torn between scientific ambition and a newfound awareness of the supernatural, sought a resolution that could mend the fractured state of Richard's consciousness. In a desperate attempt to restore equilibrium, Dr. Sinclair delved into the arcane knowledge that transcended the boundaries of conventional medicine. The laboratory, now a battleground between science and the supernatural, became a crucible for the redemption of a fractured soul. As the surgical team worked tirelessly to rectify the disrupted transplant, a harmonious resonance enveloped the laboratory. Dr. Sinclair, guided by a fusion of scientific intuition and metaphysical insight, navigated the delicate dance between realms. In a moment of transcendence, the boundaries between the physical and metaphysical realigned. Richard Lawson, once suspended between life and death, felt the reunification of his consciousness with the new body. The laboratory, now free from the spectral energies that had disrupted the transplant, returned to a state of scientific order. As the harmonious resonance settled in the laboratory, Richard Lawson, now inhabiting a new body, opened his eyes. The surgical team, unaware of the metaphysical journey that had transpired, marveled at the success of the head transplant. Dr. Sinclair, however, carried the weight of newfound knowledge. The boundaries between science and the supernatural had blurred, leaving him with a profound awareness of the uncharted territories that lay beyond the realms of conventional understanding. In the days that followed, Richard Lawson's recovery astounded the medical community. His new body, once ravaged by disease, thrived with vitality. The success of the head transplant overshadowed the mystical undertones that had accompanied the procedure, and the laboratory returned to its status as a hub of medical innovation. Yet, beneath the veneer of success, Dr. Sinclair grappled with a duality of knowledge. The supernatural forces that had disrupted the transplant lingered in his consciousness, whispering secrets that transcended the boundaries of medical science. The laboratory, once a realm of sterile precision, now bore the echoes of the metaphysical. As Richard Lawson adjusted to his new existence, he became aware of a peculiar connection, a bridge between the scientific and the supernatural. Dreams, laden with symbolic visions, visited him each night. Entities beyond mortal comprehension whispered ancient truths that danced on the fringe of sanity. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Richard sought counsel from Dr. Sinclair. The doctor, burdened by the weight of the unknown, hesitated but ultimately embraced the intertwining of science and the supernatural. Together, they embarked on a journey to explore the metaphysical realms that had intersected with Richard's consciousness. The laboratory, once a bastion of medical achievement, transformed into a nexus where the boundaries of reality and the ethereal converged. Guided by the whispers of forgotten souls, Richard and Dr. Sinclair traversed the metaphysical landscapes. Shadows danced on the periphery of their vision, revealing glimpses of arcane knowledge that challenged the very fabric of their understanding. In the heart of the laboratory, a portal emerged, a gateway to realms untouched by mortal hands. The supernatural forces, once disruptive, now beckoned with the allure of ancient mysteries, waiting to be unraveled. As Richard and Dr. Sinclair stepped through the portal, they entered a dimension where the laws of science intertwined with the cosmic energies of the unknown. Entities, beyond the comprehension of mortal minds, revealed the secrets of existence, a symphony of knowledge that resonated with the echoes of the fractured soul. The laboratory, now devoid of their physical presence, remained as a testament to the convergence of science and the supernatural. The whispers of arcane knowledge echoed through its walls, a reminder of the uncharted territories that lay beyond the limits of human understanding.